Israel is home to roughly 60,000 African asylum seekers. Following last year's deportations of those from South Sudan and the Congo, the asylum seekers who remained are nearly all from Eritrea and North Sudan. However, Israel has no real process for asylum seekers to get the status of a refugee, the result of the government's avoidance of granting refugee status to the millions of Palestinians who were expelled or fled during the 1948 war and after. African asylum seekers are therefore stuck in a legal limbo, where they're held under collective protection, meaning the situation in their home countries is so dire, Israel doesn't deport them as a group. However, since their individual refugee claims are not examined by Israeli authorities, they're not granted any rights. This situation led to the historic strike and protests that swept Israel this week, as the Real News reported. In the first part of the story, the Real News interviewed Jonathan Gil, the director of Amnesty International Israel Division, and Siom Domoz, a central figure in the refugee freedom movement in Israel. Here, Domoz speaks to the Real News about why refugees even come to Israel from Eritrea.
People, when they are listening, because mostly when they see in the media and what we know about refugee from the past, it's about all people, or people who are running from war, people who are running from a massive genocide. When we are talking about Eritrean specifically, as I'm from Eritrea, and if you see it like statistically, most of the refugees all over the world now are young people. As a young person, it's really hard and threatening to live in that country. You're in and out of prison, as it's like going to the pub, you know? You go in and out of prison every time. But while I'm saying this, there is torture, of course. You know, you go there, you get tortured.
Have you been in prison?
I've been in and out of prison. I can't count the numbers, but a lot of times. Probably I would say like for about 4 years I was in and out of prison. Sometimes they would say like you're a spy. Sometimes they would say you're making some kind of illegal things. They will give you any kind of excuse, but they just don't want you to be in the streets. So you either have to be in the military or in prison. In 1991 we got the independence from Ethiopia, which was colonized for about 40, 50 years from before that. From 91 until now, we have only this government. And if you see the history, from 91 to 97, it was quite a democratic country. We had a lot of media, free press. We had import-export business were open. In 97, 98, we got war with Ethiopia. And that in around 2000, 2001, in that time. From there, the country starts collapsing. The people's mind was targeting the outer enemy, which was Ethiopia at that time. And they were not paying attention to what was happening inside. Then suddenly, out of blue, a lot of ministers were present. Medias, we have a lot of free media, press, they were all banned. And now we have one newspaper which is run by the government. We have one TV station which is run by the government. And of course we have one radio station which is run by the government. So this government started like from the people in the beginning, and it had the full support of the people. And slowly, it ended up where it is now. There is a coupon, what family, how many family you are, and how many birds in it. Even if you have the money, you cannot buy it.
Like the Soviet Union?
Something like that, but there I think, don't get me wrong, but probably they might have some kind of ideology. You know, they were doing it with reasonings, or they might have ideology, but this is to just make the people not to think for further. The more they control you in the domestic stuff, the more they put you talking about bread, water, and electricity, the more you stop thinking about the big stuff. I ran out from Eritrea because it was not safe for my life. I got to Sudan and it got worse. You know, just life was not stable there. And it was hard at that time for me to go through Libya and to go to Europe somehow, I don't know. That's what people were doing before that. But that was close too. That was really hard. Suddenly, you just heard people were going to Israel. Never knew anything about Israel except from the Bible. I will not say like all the Eritreans don't want to be. I don't want to be here. Like me personally, if they want me, if somehow they want me to that zone or whatever they call nationality, no, I have a country. I have a country that I want to be. I have people, I have soil that I miss. That's not what we are here for. We are here because we are in a problem. We have trouble back there. Somebody is pointing a gun and opening this big underground prisons to put me in. And so I'm just asking them, and I'm like, hey, please, just keep me here for some time until I fix my home. First day you start thinking of leaving home, you're opposing something. You're opposing something. There is something that have to be changed. That's why you live in the country. If you could change it, you could have changed it then. If not, you're running because you don't have an opportunity to do it. Because some people say, like, politics is not for me. Well, that's the sweetest way to run out of activism. It's like, oh, it's politics and I don't want to be part of it. I'm sorry, but politics is life. That's your life. You cannot live without politics as it is right now. I'm talking about as the world is functioning now, you just cannot work without politics. You cannot run away from politics. Even if you run away from it, it will come to you. You run out of Eritrea because of the political situation. You came here, you went to Sudan, and the political situation in Sudan hunted you, and you're here, and now here, the political situation is hunting you. So the last 2 years, things changed, just like that.
Why?
Because people got fed up. People got fed up, and they said, like, that's it, that's it. So people start demonstrating without masks. People start doing, like I said, going to demonstration and talking in medias without masks and without covers, because that's it. There is nothing that can happen more than what happened. We reached the point where you just don't feel fear. You just don't feel fear because there is nothing to fear. Whatever you were fearing of happening already happened.